The Moremi and Savuti wildlife reserves are amongst the best known in Botswana. Moremi is widely regarded as the most beautiful game reserve and has the most diverse habitat and animal populations. Moremi contains about a quarter of the Okavango Delta and stretches across several thousand square kilometers, comprising a stunning landscape of forests, lagoons, floodplains and islands. Game viewing is excellent year-round, and resident species include lion, cheetah, leopard, elephant, wild dog, zebra, red lechwe, and many more. The Moremi Reserve covers much of the eastern side of the Okavango Delta and combines permanent water with drier areas, creating some startling and unexpected contrasts. Some prominent geographical features of the reserve are Chief's Island and the Moremi Tongue. In the Moremi Reserve, one can experience excellent views of savanna game as well as bird watching on the lagoons. There are also thickly wooded areas which are home to the rare African wild dog and leopard. Although just under 5,000 square kilometers in extent, it is a surprisingly diverse reserve combining Mopani woodland and acacia forests, floodplains and lagoons. Only about 30% of the reserve is mainland, with the bulk being within the Okavango Delta itself. The Moremi Reserve, although not one of the largest parks, presents insights and views even for the most experienced of travelers. It's home to nearly 500 species of birds, from water birds to forest dwellers, and a vast array of other species of wildlife, including buffalo, giraffe, lion, leopard, cheetah, hyena, jackal, impala and red lechwe. The African wild dog has been the subject of a project run in the area since 1989, and thus the species is often seen wearing collars. The Chobe National Park, which contains the Savuti area in northern Botswana, has one of the largest concentrations of game in Africa. By size, it's the third largest park in the country, after the Central Kalahari Game Reserve and the Chobe National Park, and it's the most biologically diverse. It's also Botswana's first national park.
And these are my fingernails after 7 days in Botswana.
The 10,800 square kilometers of the Savuti marsh area constitutes the western stretch of the park. It's a relic of a large inland lake whose water supply was cut off a long time ago by tectonic movements. Nowadays, the marsh is fed by the erratic Savuti Channel, which dries up for long periods, then curiously flows again, a consequence of tectonic activity in the area. It's currently flowing again, and in January 2010 reached the Savuti Marsh for the first time since 1982. As a result of this variable flow, there are hundreds of dead trees along the channel's bank. The region is also covered with extensive savannas and rolling grasslands, which makes wildlife particularly dynamic in this section of the park. The original inhabitants of this area were the San Bushmen, also known as the Basawa people in Botswana. They were nomadic hunter-gatherers who were constantly moving from place to place to find food sources, namely fruits, water and wild animals. Nowadays, one can find sand paintings inside the rocky hills of the park. The Chobe Game Reserve was officially created in 1960, though smaller than initially desired. In 1967, the reserve was declared a national park. The park is widely known for its spectacular elephant population. It contains an estimated 50,000 elephants, perhaps the highest elephant concentration of Africa, and part of the largest continuous surviving elephant population. The elephant population seems to have solidly built up since 1990 from just a few thousand. Elephants living here are called Kalahari elephants and are the largest in size of all known elephant populations. Camping amongst wild animals can be dangerous, and protocol and precautions should be meticulously adhered to. All food must be locked inside vehicles, and unattended tents should be collapsed during the day when on game drives. It's common for elephants, hippos, lions and hyenas to check out a campsite during the night. Small children should be carefully watched and not allowed to stray from the immediate campsite. Visit Botswana for some of the finest game viewing on the planet.